Hi, everyone. My name is Claudia Renee, and I'm the owner and founder of Team Basework LLC. We are a virtual pole dancing studio that hosts classes to students around the world every single week. We have an incredible team of instructors, and I'm so thankful for every single one of them. They make Team Basework what it is today. And I am so proud of all the growth that we've done, and we couldn't have done it without our instructors. So I'm extremely excited to be interviewing our longest standing instructor, Miss Jazzy K from Switzerland. Jazzy has been pole dancing since 2009. She's a dear friend of mine, and I am so honored to have been able to work with her, creating choreographies on multiple occasions, performing on stage with her many times, even from across the world. We've been able to connect in a really beautiful way. She is all things heels, all things base work. She is our heel tech expert, and I'm really excited to ask her a few questions so that you all can get to know her a little bit better. Jazzy, welcome. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Claudia. It's an honor.
Yes.
First one.
Yes. Also an honor for me. We're going to get right into these little rapid fire questions, starting with how and when did you start pole dancing?
I started pole like end of 2009. So quite a while ago, really. I saw it actually in TV. There was like an article about, or like a TV thing, like about a competition actually that was happening in a strip club. And I saw it and I was so mesmerized by these women being ninjas and being sexy at the same time that I was like, this is what I want to do. And yeah, I found the school here in Switzerland, which actually was like pretty much the beginning of pole in Switzerland. So it was really at its like baby steps, and I found that school, and it was actually founded by, well, like my teacher learned from a stripper. So it was like really OG, but I'm still in love with, how I found pole back then, and kind of still has its roots where I am now at some point. So it was 2009. What year is it?
I love that. We both started pole dancing at the exact same time. So we have seen it all. We've seen the evolution of pole dancing. It's been really exciting. And I mean, the way that it was before compared to the way that it is now, the technique, the aesthetics has just been really a huge evolution.
The thing is, like, it has been an evolution, but it came back as well. Like you can see, like there has been phases and like things and trends, it's always going to happen, but there's always this kind of foundation that was there from the start and will always be there, which is super interesting. But yeah, we were really blessed to like have seen so many different times of what our industry is about. So yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. So I think that, when people see you pole dance, they see how precise you are and how beautiful you move. And it really is like technically perfect. So I'm curious if you have any inspirations that just really like inspired you to move into pole dance, and anybody that really helped you become the dancer that you are today.
I mean, one thing I have to say, you see the things that are finished, right? You don't see the moments where I'm in the studio and definitely not very technically perfect. So like we always just see that final product mostly, like obviously like over social media and everything. So yes, I'm really like into technique, absolutely. And the execution and everything, I don't know where it's happened specifically or where, because I have been learning by myself next to like having workshop opportunities for quite a while, because there was no real instructor in Switzerland that could help me in that kind of way. But I remember, and I will always repeat that to my students as well. I remember when I did a workshop with Zaraya Judd. Yes, I think you hopefully remember her. She's amazing.
Of course.
And she said, whenever you go and touch the pole and pretend you're on stage. So that kind of thinking behind being very aware of how I choose my transitions, how I invert, how I make a spin, like trying to always have a quality of motion that I want to also present, really helped me with understanding how movement patterns work and like how I can get this kind of execution into my whenever I just move, So it just just found my style over time. But I think the preciseness and that like love to like flowing execution came with that thought. And I just try to teach this to my students as well, to find their own kind of way of that, but still being aware of their movement when they move.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. I'm really curious how you found your style. Like, was it an overnight thing where you just woke up and you're like, okay, I want to dance in heels? Was it like, you started out being more barefoot and lyrical, and then you found heels? Like, how did that happen for you?
It was like I started in heels because when I started pole, again, like it was heavily influenced by stripper style. So after I think like 2 or 3 months in pole, I bought my first pair of pleasers. I was 6-inch at this point, I think, but I bought my first pair of pleasers.
Got to start somewhere.
I know, right? And back then that was like high, I guess. And I then started to actually more into like sexy style and, like more, I guess, foundation, less technical as it is today. But I loved heels. I love the sexy. I love the sensual behind it. And I'm sure there's some videos somewhere I can find on my digital camera because we didn't have smartphones yet. And then I had this contemporary phase where I danced mostly barefoot. It was a lot more into tricks and aerial kind of motion. And through Pole Theatre UK 2014, where I competed the very first time in heels, I find the love again for heels and the sensual part of pole. And I think since then, it was a constant like change as well. Like if I look at the style that I danced that time, it's definitely not the same anymore. And I learned a lot during the way. And I think just trying different things. And, I always loved what I was doing, even if maybe I'm looking now, I'm like cringing at my technique, but I was always very passionate about how I moved and what I did. Had a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, like finding the style is, for me, it's a constant evolution and it doesn't stop. Like, I don't think I'm going to stay here. I'm going to move like this forever. Like, I think it's just this constant kind of growth and being aware, like just experiment and find the way you like to move at this point.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a beautiful way of explaining it too. And it says so much about you as both an instructor and a student. And, you have always been like such an inspiration to me because you're constantly learning and constantly taking classes from other people. And I think that it's something that we definitely lose when instructing becomes our full-time gig. And we forget how important it is to still continue that learning process. And you are so good about doing that. So I think that people will definitely be able to take something away from that little bit of advice that you just gave. So thanks for sharing. That's awesome.
I try my best. Like sometimes I'm better, sometimes I'm, worse, but I always try to like kind of challenge my comfort zone, taking classes with people that's not my style, just to maybe find things in there that feel like me and I can take over for me. And I think it's just this kind of losing the fear of failing, losing the fear of sucking at something that is new to you, and not having a constant urge to have something, like try something and right away be perfect, because that's not how this works.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I love that so much. So if somebody was going to start pole dancing for the very first time and they came up to you and said, what is your style? How would you explain that to somebody that has no idea about pole dancing?
I mean, it's a really hard question, really. I mean, style-wise, I would say the thing that I go directly back into would be like a flow of movement. Like, it doesn't matter if I move more dynamically or if I move more slowly. I think it's that for me, when I dance, it's this constant shift of energy, like moving from one into the next movement and trying to find that connection between movements. I don't really see pole for me as like one trick, the next trick. I try to fuse it so it becomes one dance. And that's something that really, that's what I love about pole and what I love about dancing, and especially like low flow kind of movements. As someone who doesn't understand pole, I guess it's always more difficult, like, because when you're trying to explain that you're dancing in 8-inch heels nearly naked around the pole, it's always a little bit, I have to go there again. But I think trying to always compare it to that kind of feeling of flow that I have when dancing, connecting to the music. while feeling very, very sensual or badass in my heels. But yeah, I think that's the best I can do to explain it to a person that doesn't poo pole.
Hey, I think that's great. I think that's great. If I had never pole danced before, you have me sold 1000%. So, I feel like you are such a master at your craft. So I would love to hear some topics you're super passionate about when it comes to pole.
I think over the years, one of the things that I'm most passionate about is the teaching. That's obviously what I'm doing, right? It's my job. But at the same time, like for me, being able to give knowledge to people so they can use it and basically use it on themselves. Like I want people when they do my class, I don't want them to be able just to copy what I do. I want them to physically understand what is happening in their body and how they can use it and also change it, but just being aware of what is happening so they can make choices and also be able to execute things while I'm not there. So trying to make like a long-term impact. So I feel teaching is something that is really I'm most passionate about, where obviously like I love creating, I love making choreographies, I love creating pieces on stage. But if I have to choose one thing that I have to do for the rest and only can do one thing, it definitely will be the teaching, because it's just so nice to see others grow and see others take your knowledge, but then make it them, not just a copy of you. So that's like something that I really love to see my children grow.
That's such a beautiful takeaway and a great way of explaining teaching. And I'm not sure that every instructor realizes that like beautiful impact that you can really have on people. And it's one thing to give them a copy of, copy paste each time you teach, and another thing to really set them up for success and set them up for success, not only with you, but also by taking classes from other instructors as well. And I think that's such a beautiful gift for you to have and for you to give your students. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point that you made, like also taking classes with other instructors. I feel like there's some people around that feel very like attacked or like feeling like they're not good enough if their student goes and takes classes with other people as well. But then again, everyone has different qualities. Everyone has different like things they're very specifically good at. So as a student, I mean, I love to go to different people to, take different things. So why should my students not be able to do that? So just because your student goes different places doesn't mean you're not enough. And I think that has a lot of to do sometimes with like confidence in you as a mover and as a teacher. And I would be lying if I've never had this feeling at some point when one of my, long-term students suddenly goes to someone else. I'm like, oh my God, like, am I not good enough anymore? But no, it's just like them taking other inspiration as well. And I think we should support that.
Absolutely. I mean, my students who take from multiple instructors are the ones that have the most growth. I can't teach them everything. Everyone in the industry has something else to offer. So, and I agree with you. I've definitely felt that way too. Like, did I do something wrong? But it's not that. Like, your students just know what they need to do to evolve in their dance journey. And one single coach can't teach them everything. So
and they'll come
great.
Back. If they love you, they will come back, like it's not like you're leaving forever. Like,
Speaking of which, you've been on the platform for 3 years since we launched in April of 2020, and 3 whole years you've been sharing your amazing gift with all of our students. So thank you so much for bringing all of that to our team, because it would not be the same without you. On a totally different note, tell us a fun fact about yourself so we can get to know Jazzy on another level.
I'm actually quite of a nerd. Like I love Pokemon. Like maybe if you've seen my performance of Jacob as Team Rocket, you should probably maybe know by now. I'm a super.
We're gonna have to link that.
Yes, we were really trying hard to look our part. Okay, so I hope you're gonna like it. So yeah, I'm like a nerd when it comes to Pokemon. I love Harry Potter, like all of these kind of like, I don't know, there's some things that I'm just super nerdy about. I actually like, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but on top of my like shelf, there's actually 2 Pokemon plushies.
I can see them. They're right there.
Stevie and Vulpix. Yes, thank you very much. And then also another fun fact maybe about me, I never have jet lag. It's like always as I claim my useful superpower, I can sleep really well. Like it takes a lot
Wow.
for me not to be able to sleep. Like then I have to be really stressed. But usually like sleeping, I'm like, my boyfriend always gets annoyed about it because I'm like going to bed, fall like close my eyes and already twitching because I'm falling asleep already.
That's not only a fun fact, it's a gift.
I know, right? I never had the other way, so I don't know how hard it is if you can't sleep, but yeah, it's like something, and then it makes me like having not really that much jet lag, so that's great.
That's amazing. And I think that's something that maybe we picked up from traveling so much and being in different countries constantly and teaching around the world, because I too have that. We're going to call it a gift. That is a
Yeah,
gift to be able to
gonna
sleep
take
no
it.
matter where you are in the world, because I can fall asleep anywhere, anytime, any place.
I'll definitely take it. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, to finish off today's interview, we want people to be able to find you. Not only do you teach on Team Basework, but you also have your own platform. Tell us a little bit about that. Let everybody know where they can train with you.
Yeah, so I have my platform, which is called High on Heels. I basically founded it when also like around, when everyone found their thing, usually because COVID kind of, changed everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have like loads of tutorials in there. So it's perfectly made for on demand. Like whenever you want to train, I have different options. Whereas if it's only tutorials or if people want to join my Zoom classes, and it's basically there's something for everyone, whatever you're looking for. I try to have a lot of like foundational tutorials. So for like to brush up the basics or learn the basics right away. And now actually the first one to know, because I finally launched, and this is really like the first time that I'm saying this, my app. So now my page is also available over the iOS app. So for now, only Apple. But yeah, so now the app is live and ready, and which hopefully helps with like being able to train offline as well, much better.
Amazing.
And yeah, I'm really excited to keep working on my platform, and yeah.
That's amazing. Yay. You can also find Jazzy on Instagram at Jazzy K Pole. So make sure you give her a follow. And thank you so much for chatting with me today. It was so
Thank
lovely
you.
talking with you. And I'm excited for all of our students to just learn a little bit more about you.
Thank you so much.
Yay.
It was an
Thank you,
honor. And what I
Jazzy.
wanted to also to say before we are done with this, like you, Claudia, like whenever you ask me for like with like inspiration and stuff, you were one of the people that actually believed in me from a very early point on. Like I remember, like with the whole like shows you like wanted me to be part of, and were
Yeah.
asking me right away to teach for you. So thank you so much for always
Oh,
believing in me, still believing
of
in me.
course.
So thank you so much.
Of course, I recognize something special when I see it. So thank you for working with me so many times. It's been an absolute
Always.
honor, and hopefully we will be able to cross paths in person again soon.
Yes. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Len.